Hey people, Intro here, 53, Cathari Ruins, blue team, it's a bunch of Orks. Grimm, with a Commando knob infiltrating hero that shoots you, stabs you and blows you up. Orky style begins with a twin link shooter, looks like the Freebooters DLC maybe? Alongside, Venjitron as a Warboss, a melee hero, walking through objects, very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines. I think this is the Goths elite scheme that they have recolored. And rounding off the team, Miggs as a Mekboy, a teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat. Puts out some good damage with a bunch of orky gadgets. There he goes with his Dakar against DeleD with a Plague Champion. Starts off with the damage of a time bolt gun, can get melee weapons, some strong utility and support, can also repair. Alongside, Alexandro with a Lord Commissar, strong offense and support, fighting in melee begins with a refractor shield, can shoot his own fellas in the head. And rounding off the teams, Xiraiju, Akara with a Lictor Alpha, a melee specialist, infiltrate and disrupt, some powerful offense and a bit of support. Xiraiju, I think, is what I'm going to go for. He's found some Orks to stab with his big old talons. Looks like they lost some Hormagaunts there. Did they? No, they got away. They got away. Orks are taking a northeastern victory point. All three VPs on this map are very much contested, so you get big swings with triple caps and relatively shorter games typically. Lord Commissar's fighting some sluggers with a bunch of Dakar in the back of his neck as well. Runs off and I think makes it. Warboss is busy shooting termagants for some reason rather than cracking them in the face. Sentinel trying to back off. Xiraiju with the double Hormagaunts into termagants, double the CSM up for DeleD. Alexandro with the Sentinel, nothing else after it yet. Sluggers with their burners giving chase. Doing some decent damage actually. Sentinels have heavy infantry armor and those burners count as power weapons, so they're doing some good hits when they were getting hits. Double shooters all round for the Orks. Kommando forcing some melee combat on those termagants. Big retreat there though. Warboss also runs. Anything yet? The Lictor Alpha? Nope. Catachans on the way for Alexandro. That's really going to help them stop the tide of greenskins just pushing through. Lictor Alpha still in play, as is the Commando knob though. Does some really good damage with his default twin link shooter. Down goes the Lictor Alpha. The Dakar gets it done. These shooter boys here with big shooters. War banner up here to provide some long-lasting buffs and also some constant buffs if you're close by. But you can activate it for a longer-lasting buff. Lord Commissar committing all sorts of heresy, reviving a Lictor Alpha there. Wreck point uncapped. Good push through from DeleD. Solid opening with double CSM. Do they both have a Turn of War? No. Don't both have a Turn of War yet. And aspiring champion heretics worshipping Nurgle. Here are the Catachans. Versatile infantry squad that can disrupt, suppress, even support with smoke and melee pretty good too. But they've run off there. Lord Commissar throws up the shield. Tries to stem the tide. Hormagaunts being sent in. And they did not get away. What about these fellas? They did get away. A little bit hasty to throw them in there like that with a war banner. And upgraded sluggers and a Warboss. Or a Warboss with spiky armor too. We do have a warrior brood now for Xiraiju Akara. These guys will be providing a basic synapse to non-synapse creatures, giving them some defensive bonuses. And they've got some power melee of their own and they can leap on you and knock you over. DeleD now with Havocs. Very solid tier 1 army, double CSM into Havocs. Those guys have dropped to model though, and they are the fellas with Eternal War. Eternal War gives 20% more melee and range damage. Mekboy comes in with a death gun, can teleport around while the weapon is set up and suppress things. Pretty damn effective. They themselves get suppressed though by the Havocs and run away. And they're on the power again, DeleD. Able to stay in play there. Plague Champion's so good at that with Nurgle worship and things. Can we see any more war gear? We do see a boss pole for Venjitron. And stick bombs for Grimm's Kommando. Lictor Alpha's down, but I don't think they had purchased anything. All of their early power went on upgrades for their Hormagaunts and Termagants and the Warrior Brood. Whole bunch of Daka. That boss pole providing more health and suppression resistance. Very nice passive upgrade for your stuff around you. Level 2 Warboss as well. Tyranids trying to come in from an angle here with Catachans and the Warrior Brood. Catachans into melee combat. Those guys actually do power melee damage. So they are a threat to low-level heroes, although that Warboss with spiky armor would be quite dangerous for them to try and take on in melee. That spiky armor will do a bunch of damage to them as they hit the Warboss. Don't want to hit a Warboss when it's all spiky. I mean, you don't want to hit a Warboss at the best of times. Stormboy's on the field now for Miggs. Wiping out some heretics. Those were DeleDs. The Sparring Champion heretics getting wiped there. Flamer Guardsman coming in. Look at that. Roasting some shooter boys, but they can't do much when all this melee is on them. Double cap for the red team here. Painboy on the way for Grimm. Plague Champion runs. Lictor Alpha still down in the northeast. Commando's on the VP now. Lord Commissar arrived a bit late to get the revive. Sentinel took a bunch of damage as well. And Guardsmen need to run. And Catachans are healing up. Tier 2 all around for the red team. And Grimm from the blue Orc team goes tier 2 as well. Sentinel being caught. Is it far enough away to make it? 35 hit points. I think it's far enough away. Lord Commissar able to get in there and get a revive. Gets to level 2. Xiraiju back on their feet. Akara. Should just call them Akara. Mekboy busy capping things. Havocs have come back. DeleD does not replace the heretics before going tier 2. Yeah, that was a mistake. Meleeing the Warboss and trying to run the Hormagaunts past him with that spiky armor. That was painful. Catachans just chucked their smoke grenade, their defensive smoke grenade, on enemy double shooter boys. That is not an offensive smoke, that is a defensive bonus. You want to put that on your own units. It's not like the spotters smoke that reduces range or anything. Stormtroopers on the way for Alexandro. Akara with Venom Brood on the way, and a Power Claw for the Lord Commissar. Gonna get stuck into some melee. Special shooter Orky shotgun for Commando Nob. Mega Boom kit as well. A level 3 Warboss, eh? Another War banner going up. Is there a bond back still here? Yeah. There's a bunch all around the power, look. For defending the power. It's not a bad idea, is it? Sluggers on capping duty in the mid. No upgrades for these fellas. They are Grimms. DeleD still able to put pressure on down here. Oh. Plague Fist is up. And there's Armor of Pestilence. Maybe we'll see the Icon of Nurgle. I guess they're getting tired of this, of these melee orcs. Storm Boys are going to jump the Havocs. Heretics are there to counter-initiate. Do they have Touch of Nurgle available? They do. We may see it here. Would be a decent spot for it. No, they decide to retreat them off. And they do get away. Storm Boys with their Nob Leader and Sluggers with their Nob Leader up in tier 2. It's a powerful melee force there for the Orcs. Missile Launcher Sentinel in play now though. Level 2. Chasing off the Orcs through the mid. We have some Death Spitters from the Venom Brood. This is their anti-infantry upgrade. And they're going to try and bash the power here. The Sentinel can switch to crack missiles, which would be more effective against the generators, I think. But they're keeping their frag missiles loaded in. I mean, it's not doing badly, is it? Meanwhile, War Truck for Miggs can reinforce off this thing now, these Orcs. And allied Orcs can as well. Well, all of your allies. But it's all Orcs for the blue team. What did DeleD go for? No accessory yet on this guy. But they're a very tough melee unit now, that Plague Champion. There's the crack missiles. Anti-vehicle damage trying to finish off the war truck. And they get it with a rear armor hit. Nicely done. They turn around and duck at the Sentinel on the bunch. Switching back to crack missiles here. Fake Champion eventually gets in. They are slowed down by the Armor of Pestilence, and we do see Icon of Nurgle on the way. That should do huge amounts of work for them. There it is. It's it. Just passively damages nearby enemies and allow you to rack up huge amounts of XP for the Plague Champion because he's damaging everything around him. So whenever any of it dies, he gets a little bit of the XP. Levels the 2 there. Really need levels, of course, for your heroes, especially melee heroes, I think. Get that health in. Although it's important for all of them. Weird Boy up for Venjitron. Weird Boy up for Grimm as well. 325 to 431. Tier 3 for Grimm. There's a Warp Vomit. Decently timed. May have waited a little bit for the Venom Brood and stuff to come in. Venom Brood with their ranged synapse here on these fellas, so they have their Venom cannons. And the Warriors got the Barbed Strangler in. Suppression weapon. Very good anti-infantry. Lots of Daka. Ouch. High explosive shells on those heretics was nasty. But they make it out only because they had an aspiring champion though. 325 to 431 on the VPs. 1-to-1 cap. Storm Boys are level 2. Mekboy just got revived by the Kommando. I'm not sure what Venjitron was referring to there. Xiraiju Akara. Lictor going now, or maybe to get the VP. The northeastern VP. Crack missiles doing some decent work, eh? Shooty Tyranids as well. Stick bombs chucked in though. Big booms, Sentinel needs to be careful. There's a lot of Ork Daka here. And the Warboss has got a Power Claw. 95 heavy melee DPS. Here comes the Plague Champion. They can use that Pestilent Strike defensively. There they do it. Used it to stun the Warboss here to get some free hits. Hard Boys up on the Warboss though. And now the Warboss is getting protected by the Pestilent Strike. And the Plague Champion needs to run. I think that was a bad time to use it. Double cap for the red team. Warboss does get away. Oh, they had user choppers on them too. Spent a bunch of red on the Warboss there. Didn't quite pay off. Tier 3 for Alexandro. Miggs also tier 3. Grimm already there. Venjitron could very nearly go tier 3. Akara getting some late game termagants up. This is a bit weird. Is a Sentinel going to get away from this? Basilisk Flare may have saved it, maybe. Oh, it's getting repairs and I think it needs to leave. Flamer Guardsmen doing what they can. Flamer Guardsmen do not get away. Here comes Shooty Tyranids though. Heretics getting caught. And there's a Weird Boy shot into a foot of Gork. Big booms. Beautifully timed off that Weird Boy basic attack shot. I'm not sure if that was intended. I'm not sure whose Weird Boy that was. We have Warpath here for Grimm. Also for Venjitron. And a Knob Squad on the way for Miggs. Plague Champion revives the Lord Commissar, who throws up the shield and goes to work. Fighting some stick bombers. I don't think they're going to get away from here. Those were Venjitron stick bombers and they are down. Shooter Boys barely making it out. Looking quite depleted now. Do they go tier 3 with a depleted army? I think you should. I think their allies can support them quite well here. The Lictor Alpha with Corrosive Claws, power melee weapon that debuffs enemies that he strikes. What does it do? Increases the damage they take and slows vehicles. Also has Deadly Jump and the Lone Hunter. That's that effect you see on the Lictor Alpha there. If they're far enough away from allies, they do 40% more damage and take 25% less damage. Pretty damn effective. Single cap for the red team here. Double cap for the red team here. 1-2-4 to 4-3-1. Can they keep it up? Kashyyykin on the field for Alexandro. Nob squad are up. Where are they though? They are southwest at the moment. Sluggers will be okay, I think. Unless there's something on retreat path. I don't think there is. Sentinel's been amazing so far. Level 4 Sentinel, eh? Is that Venom Brood being called in there? Looks like. Warboss with Ard Boys getting suppressed. Foot of Gork was dodged, and yes, it was Venom Brood coming in. I guess that's the only thing it could be. Battle Wagon on the way for Grimm. Chaos Terminator's up, already taking a bunch of damage. Oh wow, they're in with a Nob squad. That was not a good place to call them. Nob squad with U Jammers. But they don't have Mean It and Green It, and they don't have their Nob leader yet. Blade Champion comes in to help out. Level 3. Throws down the Pestilence Strike to stun them. And there was Aura of Decay knocking them back. But now needs to run, because the Nob squad will crush him pretty quickly. Emperor's Wrath. Off-map artillery. You have the Flak Jacket as well for Inspire Terror, which would help you do a chunk of damage to a Nob squad. Down to 28 VPs, the blue team, eh? I mean, they're coming out swinging, though, with Battle Wagons and a couple of Nob squads. Lictor Alpha is going to make very short work of these shooter boys with the Lone Hunter buff up. What level is he? Level 2, Lictor Alpha. Getting knocked around by the Weird Boy, though. Battle Wagon goes northeast. They've got some Gretchens, probably repair crew, inside the Battle Wagon, I think. Some power bashing to be done. In the mid, though, Orks taking over. Level 6 Commando Nob. Kashyyykin. Oh, they don't have a special weapon up yet. Battle Wagon being aggressive. Not really much to mess with it, unless the Venom Brood are close. Oh, we do have an autocannon on those Chaos Terminators. Rocks coming in. Big retreat from the Tyranids. They're going to retreat through the rocks, I think. They didn't get hit too badly. Some friendly fire maybe on the Battle Wagon. CSM should not be wasting their bullets shooting at the Battle Wagon. Nob squad coming in onto the CSM, popping their frenzy. And they have their Nob leader now. Storm Boys with an amazing jump, stunning both of the CSM. Down goes the Plague Champion. Terminators will be chased off. CSM will be chased off. Double cap now for the Orks. Sentinel very low on hit points. And I don't think Alexandro has a repair unit anymore. DeleD does. The Plague Champion can repair, and those Heretics can repair. Big retreat there from the Orks, but they've got a bunch of stuff in the mid. Look at this. There's a lot of Orks. What level is that Warboss, actually? Level 4. Mekboy 3. Commando 7. Commando's been kicking ass. Triple cap now for the Orks. And they're looking quite strong. More Gretchens up this time for Venjitron, and they are repair crew. And they are also for Grimm. Can the red team get themselves back into this? They have struggled to get tier 3 stuff rolling, haven't they? Down goes the Sentinel. Not sure why that thing wasn't backed off. Maybe because they knew they didn't have a repair unit and they weren't going to get one anytime soon. I assume they're saving for a Lehman Russ or something. Up in the northeast, some power bashing Tyranids. And the Lictor Alpha grabbed the VP and ran off. Oh, they have Pheromone now. Maybe they plan to keep their Lictor with their Tyranid friends now. Ouch. Weird Boy shot into Foot of Gork. Nasty combo from Grimm. They're good at timing that. Big ducker on the Lord Commissar's face, runs away. Kashyyykin still don't have a weapon upgrade. Just using their hotshot lasguns for now. You'd think they'd get their grenade launchers up or something. There's Zap. To see Alexandro trying to keep them apart. Maybe they just want the raw DPS of the hotshot lasguns. Are they going to live? Only the sergeant is alive, and he doesn't even have a hotshot lasgun. Just got a pistol and a sword, I think. Triple cap now for the Orc team. What is this? That is Storm Boys fighting Chaos Terminators. Maybe they should have got claws up, knowing they were against the Nob squad. And a bunch of other melee stuff as well. Yeah, especially when they've got Plague Fist, Plague Champion for that Pestilent Strike. There's now 3 Nob squads on the field. Here comes a Baneblade and a Great Unclean One and a Carnifex. Is it enough to get the red team back into this game? I mean, they've got a VP lead, but blue team looking very strong now. And they have mid-map authority all the way through. Lord Commissar, level 5. Can we see a decent off-map artillery? Probably hard to time against the Nob squad. They killed a Mekboy. There's Pestilent Strike again, which actually buffs the Nob squad's range damage resistance. Terminators survived. They're down to 2 models. Boss pole doesn't make things easier, does it? Nob squad up to 4980 hit points at level 1. Kommando gets the revive. Almost level 9, this fella. Mekboy runs. Go mid and bot, says DeleD. Abomination. Oh, maybe they're talking about Great Unclean One. Maybe that's what it translates as in some language or other. Carnifex with a Venom Cannon is in. Great Unclean One up. Greater Demon of Nurgle. Super unit for Chaos. Passively damages nearby enemies. Much like the Icon of Nurgle does. And it's nasty in melee, this fella. Big chunk of hit points. Can worship it with Nurgle. And we'll see how it goes, I suppose. There's a Baneblade as well. Gonna be a good push. Triple cap though for the Orks. I don't know if they can get onto enough VPs in time. There's some Nurgle vomits. There's a Noxious Cloud thrown in as well. Terminator's coming in aggressively. Rocket Run. Looks like the Rocket Run mainly missed things. There's a Cloud of Flies. And the Orks with a triple cap get it done. They just couldn't quite get out there quickly enough. I wonder if they had 100 more VPs, if they could have seen them off the mid and got the VPs going. Maybe. Orks really came out swinging in tier 3 though. Level 8 Commando, another Nob squad was on the way there. Venjitron was level 4 Warboss. Miggs level 3 Mech. Level 2 Lictor Alpha. Level 5 Lord Commissar. And a level 4 Plague Champion. There you have it, guys. Fast and frantic. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.